The Director of Public Prosecutions Roger Gaspard clears the air on his views of the proposed plea bargaining legislation. The Director of Public Prosecutions Office appeared before a joint select committee of the Parliament of National Security where DPP Gaspard said his office does not object to plea bargaining or the introduction of criminal procedure rules. Cozier Phillip reports.
Government has introduced a slew of legislation in the Parliament aimed at tackling crime and the backlog of cases in the courts. Just to name a few, the Indictable Offences Pre-Trial Bill, the Access to Bail Amendment Bill, and the Criminal Procedure Pre-Discussion and Pre-Procedure Bill, also known as the Plea Discussion Plea Agreement Bill. Director of Public Prosecutions Roger Gaspard says his office has been in the business of bargaining vis-à-vis pleas informally for quite some time now.
I have always advocated that those persons who are in custody and who are unlikely to receive from the courts a sentence greater than the time they have already spent in custody, they may even now wish to write to the DPP's office without the proposed legislation coming on stream.
DPP Gaspard dismisses the notion that the introduction of plea bargaining legislation would increase the volume of pleas exponentially. He says what determines whether or not a person is inclined into a plea negotiation is the strength or type of evidence.
Accused persons and defense counsel may be of the view that because we rely so heavily on, say, eyewitness accounts and caution statements and so on, within those ambits, there's a lot of room to play, there's a lot of room to cross-examine, there's a lot of room to shake the credibility of witnesses, there's a lot of room to challenge the procedures.
The DPP endorses government's package of legislation as a measure to sanitize the management and movement of cases through the criminal justice system. However, he says the supporting structures and systems like staffing must be in place before implementation. He's also calling for proper consultation before these fundamental changes are made.
You'd get a notice that we have a meeting on Thursday. We might not meet again for the next 5 months. I am saying that where you have critical issues and critical changes being implemented, the length and breadth of the discussions should be different.
It was only on Wednesday that the Parliament continued debate on the plea discussion plea agreement bill. Cozier Phillip, C News.
The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions urgently needs a home in Tobago. This from DPP Roger Gaspard. Mr. Gaspard told a joint select committee of the Parliament that the consideration for Tobago seems to be somewhat asymmetrical, skewed and lagging. He said it's unfair and inconvenient for prosecuting police officers to have to come from Tobago on a regular basis.
Officers attached to these police stations, whenever there's a legal problem, whenever there's a legal issue, they have to come to Trinidad. I find that somewhat demeaning, and I find it very inconvenient. And as all of us know, seeing that we are speaking in the spirit of the utmost candor, the air bridge and the sea bridge, there are problems associated with them. Very often, officers who come here have to rely on standby provisions. Why are we demeaning our police officers from Tobago like that?
He also pointed out that the absence of an office in Tobago results in incurred costs and inefficiencies in the Director of Public Prosecutions Office.
If there's an office in Tobago, we have the option of retaining and hiring legal counsel from Tobago who are based in Tobago every time. So every week, several attorneys from my office have to go to Tobago. They have to be housed. They have to pay the transportation cost, and then very often they have to return the following morning to attend court somewhere in Trinidad. That is inconvenient, it's inefficient.